Hey Ken, let's take a look at your week 3 assignment 3 drawing. Your object itself is still kind of maintaining that great presence, and I think it's actually cleaned up a lot more than even in the last assignment. And the last assignment was a very good rendering of the dresser or of the cabinet, and this I think is an even better job. Details feel more refined, they feel more specific. The knots that are showing up, to me, they just look like they're put in place directly from observation. The wood grain is coming across well, and the reflection and just kind of the overall structure of the object I think is really, it feels solid. It feels like everything is measured, lining up, fitting together. And so the color, the texture, even the value, it really works out, I think, nicely. I think the kind of other part of the story is the environment and the background, and there's a couple things with the background. One is, I think this is a lot better than the blue and the purple. I thought the blue and the purple, even if that's how they are in real life, they just distract from the object itself. They're too bold, they're too strong, and for an object that's made up of either neutrals like grays or semi-neutrals like the browns, it just didn't have any chance of competing with these really bright, kind of dark, vibrant, deep colors. So this works a lot better for me, I think, just in general. It feels more natural, it's less overpowering. I do wish it was a little larger. I wish we had a little bit more kind of space so that the object itself didn't feel kind of claustrophobic in this small kind of image window. Just spreading it out even a little bit more, I think, could definitely help to make it just feel like there's a little bit more space, a little more open space. The other thing is the floor itself. It is not working within the perspective of the object. The object itself is moving towards a vanishing point that's, kind of about up here. But the rest of the kind of the floor and everything doesn't feel like it's moving quite in that direction. It feels like you've got it moving to a vanishing point that's either kind of just above the dresser rather than a little bit higher. So what this does is it doesn't make it feels like the dresser and the floor are not quite meshing, just a little bit. And a lot of it just comes from the fact that I can see kind of where the vanishing point is, here, which is, way kind of up above. And I can see where the vanishing point is for the floor. And so I think they need to use the same vanishing point. And then the floor, as it kind of moves to the left and the right, it's going to spread out in a way, it's going to angle in a way that it's going to mimic the dresser, and it'll just fit kind of in general a little bit better. I also think the texture, it is, I would say, a little bit overworked. The grain that's in place is very dark, and it's starting to obscure kind of the golden color that's underneath. And I think you could pull back a little bit on the colored pencil with the grain and let some of that gold show through. The other thing is, sometimes you don't need to use kind of a gray or a black colored pencil for things like, line work like you have here. I think what would be more effective would be an orange, like a dark orange, or a sienna color, or even kind of an umber color, but something that's going to fit into the yellow a little bit more than kind of the black, which I think stands out from it and creates it starts to make things feel a little bit grayish all around. So maybe ease up just a little bit on the colored pencil work with that, and let that kind of the under marker kind of show through a little bit more. And I don't think it'll feel as kind of cloudy if you have less of that in place. But it's still, I think, a great quality assignment. It is definitely a big, I wouldn't say improvement, but just a big series of refinements from the last assignment. I wouldn't say improvement because I think it was a pretty strong assignment before. But the change in the background, the realism to the background, which is good, and just the kind of the structure of the cabinet, everything kind of feels like it is nice and solid, and it's the setting, I think, it just feels so much better for it.